this program. If you know of any young people who are interested, please send them to the website bit.ly Youth Connect 2024. Therapists have already started gearing up. We're getting our t-shirts ready, as well as preparing our profiles, and it's going to be set up kind of like you would see on Psychology Today, with each therapist's picture as well as a video of us introducing ourselves, and those youth will be able to pick the therapist that they want to work with. And we are offering virtual as well as in-person services, so check that out. Also, wanted to mention that we have started a dedicated YouTube site just for the Couch Convo with Coach Karla TV show. So make sure you go to YouTube to follow that particular page so that you can see the videos from the show, all of the replays, and even all of the replays from the past each week will be loaded there. So check that out and make sure you subscribe and tell a friend. Also, as we are working on celebrating the 3rd anniversary of the Couch Convo with Coach Karla TV show, next month in June, Christopher Franklin is going to join us from ABC 24. He is their general manager and producer, and we're going to be talking about his career as well as ministry and media. So looking forward to that as we continue to celebrate the 3rd anniversary of the Couch Convo with Coach Karla TV show. So those are the things that I wanted to share about the things that I've been working on since the last time you saw me. And we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to bring our special guest. The dynamic duo is here, and we're going to have them on the couch and talk about their career. If you follow me on social media, then you know exactly who I'm talking about. So come back after this break.
Center Stage Gospel Music live from Memphis, Tennessee, featuring gospel artists from around the world. Toe-tapping, hand-clapping, down-home gospel music. Watch on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and your local Comcast. Download the SVP TV app now on your smart television and mobile device. Center Stage Gospel season premieres Sunday, 8 p.m. Central.
Hey folks, it's Issa Haddad here. I got some good news and a special invitation for you to come see me here at Sunrise, Collierville. Come on down, check out my inventory with new, pre-owned, and certified vehicles to choose from. I can get you finance when no one else can. Come on by, bring your family. I treat you like family. Come see me, Issa, here at the #1 dealership in the Mid-South, 4605 Houston Levy Road, Sunrise, Collierville. Come on down, check out my inventory with hundreds of vehicles to choose from, pre-owned, new, and certified.
Good news from Sunrise Chevrolet. Get in your new vehicle today. Come on in, ask for Issa. Bankrupt, slow pay, bad credit, it's okay. Let Issa put you in your brand new truck or car today when you shop at Sunrise Chevrolet, Collierville.
And don't forget, ask for me, Issa.
For over 20 years, OPOX has been keeping the Mid-South
warm in the winter and cool in the summer.
OPOX is family owned and operated, so our family will take care of yours every step of the way. And right now you can double up and save. Buy a new AC unit and get 50% off a new furnace to match it. Count on OPOX for fast and professional heating and cooling services. Count on OPOX.
Can you actually imagine hosting your next event at the all-new SVP Banquet and Event Center? Yes! Spacious, beautiful venue with plenty of parking, located in the heart of East Memphis. Let us host your next intimate birthday gathering, family repast, bachelorette party, wedding and reception, baby shower, corporate meeting, social club event. Call us today. Don't wait. 901-244-6874. The all-new SVP Banquet and Event Center.
Ladies, do you feel feminine during your feminine flow? You know, your monthly cycle, your period. Are you still suffering in silence? The suffering is over. It's time to choose Rain. Rain is an all-natural, premium sanitary napkin with 8 layers of cotton, high-grade polymers, graphene to help cut bacteria by 99.9%. Ladies, let's protect the most precious jewel in the world, you.
Rain Premium Sanitary Napkins do not make any medically backed claims or personal recommendations of any kind. For more information, contact Marilyn McGee. Tune in to Talking Law with attorney Daryl O'Neill and the special guest host, attorney Jerome Payne. Live TV talk on your digital device, on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the SVP TV app right now. Check us out every Tuesday on Comcast Cable, Channel 17, 8:30 p.m. And we are live every Friday on Facebook Live, 6 o'clock in the evening. You've got a question? Our attorneys have the answer. So let's talk law with attorney Daryl O'Neill on the SVP TV network.
Welcome back to Couch Convo with Coach Karla. As you can see, I am joined by a special guest, Miss Tina Tilton.
Hey, Karla.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
And also we have Miss Christy Taylor, who is joining us by phone.
Hey, good evening, everybody. This is a joy.
Yes.
Hi, Christy.
Hi, Tina Tilton.
So Christy is so busy that she has to join us by telephone on tonight. But I want to
Undisclosed location.
At
The
an
villa, the yacht. Oh my goodness.
She's at an undisclosed location. Okay, now I can see. Listen, I'm ready to go on a yacht now. So hey, speak it into existence. I wanted to make sure I introduce these ladies to you. I know them because I've worked with them before with Bumpin' 96.3. But both of these ladies have started media. Well, first of all, they have long careers in the media, Memphis media, in media industry, right here in Memphis, Tennessee, in radio as well as TV, in their respective careers. Tina Tilton has launched the Podcast Center, and Christy Taylor has Christy Taylor Consulting, and they work together and coordinate to offer podcasting classes as well as podcasting services for Bumpin' 96.3, right on 87.7. That's
Right on radio.
right on radio,
Yeah.
87.7, and sports and new sports 56, sports 56.
You got it, Karla. Go.
Okay,
girl.
all
You did it.
right. So, really happy about having them on the show tonight, and just wanted to get a chance to talk to both of them about their careers and things that they have going on. So, as I mentioned before, you both have had amazing careers. What made you collaborate and come together for the Podcast Center?
Wow. Well, you know, I'm going to toss this one to Christy
Christy?
Taylor. Yeah,
Okay.
because she always she tells the story better
Okay.
than I do, how we were able to collab.
come together.
So, yeah, there you go, Christy. Tag.
Tag, I am it. Well, first of all, thank you so much, Coach Karla, for allowing us to sit on your virtual couch. I really am appreciative of that, and giving us an opportunity to share about our journey
Yes.
into entrepreneurship. And as you stated, we had a long career in radio and television. Tina, of course, coming from Hot 107, and also having been one of the first black DJs in the country with video waves on local television being flown across the country. And my career having been on up and down the radio dial, everywhere from 990 The Light to V101 to Hallelujah FM, and then later on WRBO. But it was around 2018, 2019, we found ourselves separately. We've always been cordial throughout our media careers, but through some mutual gentlemen, Jason Farmer and then later Anwar Jameson, we crossed paths at a time we were moving off of our media journeys into entrepreneurship. I think around the time Tina had just been, I think, and this was, you can correct this, Tina, she had just had been over one of the TV stations that Flynn Broadcasting owned, and she decided to start her own production company around 2018. And then around the same time, I was ending my contract with WRBO, and I started in the summer of 2019 Christy Taylor Consulting, and through these two gentlemen in two separate occasions, it was like a confirmation that we needed to post our radio career, Life After Radio, to see what we could do and collaborate. And at that time, she was like, hey, I've established a business in Bartlett, and I was still working remote, and she was like, well, come check it out. And when I went to Bartlett, I saw her space, and she has a 2-room office, and most of the production in the second room. But the way my mind works as a consultant and a strategist,
she went in and changed everything. That's what she did.
Was operating with one.
Yep.
Then she was like, hey, if you see it, make it happen. Now, we have been cordial, but never like hangout friends. But when she gave me the key to her business.
Yeah. And she went in there shifting everything around, Karla.
That's good. To me, giving me space to do that. I think I told the story pretty well. Is that right, Tina?
That is correct. And I just told Karla, I said, you went in there shifting everything around. I walked in there like, what? I didn't realize that this space had this in it, that in it, that. Okay, I got room. Okay, let's work.
Okay, so she was able to go in there and kind of enhance some things, so that you all could work with clients. That's good, and that says a lot about the both of you. In terms of vulnerability, I try to encourage people that it's going to be very important for us as a people and as Black women to work together in order to achieve success and to go higher, 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 higher. So it's beautiful to see both of you work together, and when people work together, a synergy happens. And so I think that a lot of people can see that with your businesses.
Thank you, Karla.
You're welcome.
And Karla, I want to jump in here and say that, mind you, this was happening in 2019, and by the end of 2019, we had brainstormed and come up with some amazing ideas that we were about to launch in 2020, including I was going to do an entire series called Like a Media Pro. Oh. And then guess what happened, ladies?
Yeah, COVID.
And
we didn't know, over here in the United States, we really didn't know. We may have heard at the end of 2019 about COVID, but we had no idea what we were in for.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. And it changed.
And it forced us to have to pivot. And Tina, talk about the pivoting that we did.
Well, what I do like about that, what I do like about the pivoting with the whole COVID situation was that it actually did force us to rethink how we were doing production, and so we became more adamant in this virtual world.
Oh, okay.
And after that, when I tell you the Podcast Center Bartlett location took off, it was like, phew, and it was, people say that COVID was bad, and it was. Don't get me wrong, it really was. But there have been some businesses that were able to launch, such as the Podcast Center, because we were in-house, we were an in-studio facility. But once that happened, and the world was telling everyone, you can't go out, you can't go talk to your mama, you got to talk to your mama through the glass door, things like that, and you all need to go Zoom and virtual and meet on the phone and so on and so forth. That was our way of staying connected during that time. So because of that, and many people they didn't have the equipment, they didn't have the knowledge, so, and especially churches now, keep in mind too, churches were closed.
Oh yeah,
so we were able to get congregations or pastors to submit their content to us, and allow us to virtually broadcast to their congregation and keep them relevant.
That was good.
Yeah,
and keep them out there so that people could. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so Chrissy, did you want to add anything else to that?
Well, and also in the pivoting, one thing that I being the nerd that I am, ladies, is that I've learned StreamYard. I was learning how to really get deeper into my design. I was assisting people with setting up podcasts and developing shows because, as she said, so much of the content was now online. And so I was able to, with a very new business, that I was looking to do big things in 2020, I had to learn to to pivot into the virtual space and setting up podcasts, particularly audio podcasts, and as Tina has spoken about, the Podcast Center, which we helped rebrand that as well, started really assisting people with video podcasts for both online and for cable, because she's had a long relationship with Cablevision, aka Xfinity Comcast. So it was really important for me to also start learning how to teach, because I wanted to teach. That was my main goal, was to teach people how to become master communicators so that they could perform well when it came to radio and TV interviews. So then that pushed me to learn how to also put together my own show, which launched the Christy Taylor Show, which Tina then turned around and said, hey, upload it to Xfinity Comcast. So I ended up with a podcast that was online as well as on television. And it grew to multiple markets, and we ended up, as a result of that, that led us to the Taylor Tilton Show. And that was truly an idea of Tina's, to wake up early to do the podcast.
She said to wake up early.
Because it comes on at 9 a.m., correct, on Tuesday mornings?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. And I know it comes on Facebook Live. And does it come on somewhere else live?
On YouTube as
YouTube.
well.
Okay, all right. Okay.
But let me ask you this. Do you think 9 a.m. is early?
It's not in general.
See,
It's
Christy
not.
Taylor, that's work hours.
It might be now.
Now, ladies, Tina has to tell the truth. What time was my alarm normally set before the Taylor Tilton Show?
Oh, I think 9:30.
Yeah, I can see that. But
my alarm was set for 9:30, so for her to say not only be awakening at 9 a.m., but be alert and communicating, it'll take me to 10 a.m.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that means I had to wake up an hour early.
I'm going to tell you what my thought process was with that, Karla.
Okay.
It was free promotion.
Yeah.
I'm like, we have these television shows in 14 markets in the Southeast region, from Tennessee to Mississippi to Arkansas, even Alabama.
Okay.
We were all across the Southeast region. So we're like, all right, we really need to promote and let people know that these television shows of ours exist. How do we do that economically, if you will?
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? We should consider waking up early, and an hour earlier prior to our shows hitting the airwaves, and doing a podcast.
Okay.
And that's how that was birthed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for people who don't know, tell them about the structure of what you all talk about on the Taylor Tilton Show.
Two 50-year-olds just kicking it, two 50-year-old women just talking about stuff.
Woo.
Now, I come from the perspective of being a married woman with a child in my 50s.
Okay.
So Christy has the total opposite, a single black woman with no children. So her perspective is that. But just coming together, typically we do agree on some stuff, but it's so funny because every time, normally I select the topics to talk about, and she'll say, what is this foolishness we're about to talk about today?
Okay.
What is this ridiculous topic? And I'm like, no, follow me, just trust me on this one. And we have ourselves a blast. People actually check in every Sunday. We have our fan favorites, Corey D. Garcia and Sandra Hill Wilson. Who else, Christy? Darius Moore. We have our fan favorites that check in every Tuesday with us. My mommy! Yep. I'll always love my mama.
Now from across the world that have started checking in. And I have to say this, Karla, in addition to her selecting the topics and I put the shows together, I have to say, because I'm the nerdy one, I like to put it together through StreamYard, and it streams live to all the platforms. But Tina also, she likes to, I could say, have a word up at the end. So whatever foolishness we've been talking about, we're also branding our businesses, and now we're branding our radio stations, but we're also trying to give some inspiration to what our lives are like. And let me tell you, the reason why, Karla, I said yes to waking up an hour early, her idea was for us to promote the TV shows, which, by the way, are on hiatus, but no one wants us to let the podcast go, no matter how busy we get. So the podcast has survived. But I decided that this was a great opportunity for me, Karla, for people to get to know me in a different way. Because many people throughout my radio career said, or even now post-radio, they were like, I've always heard of you, I listened to you on the radio, but I never met you. So this was my opportunity to let people get to know Christy. variety and not just Christy Taylor. So thanks again, Tina, for making me wake up an hour early. Yeah.
So they can know who you is.
Who I be.
Yeah, right there.
And you always struck me, Chrissy, as somebody who was quiet. As I listened to you on the radio, but no, and she's not, and that's the whole point. And so that was a good idea to give people a chance to get to know you. But when you were on the light, you just struck me as like a quiet, very gentle personality.
Wait a minute. So how did?
I am that too. I am that quiet church lady, Tina Tilden. But I am also, as even someone just recently said, they had a conversation with me like, I didn't know you were this much fun.
Okay.
Because the introverted me shows up the most, but if you get me talking, most quiet people do that. But if you get me talking,
well, wait a minute, Christy Taylor.
I can be very fun.
Hold on.
I thank you for giving me even this opportunity, Karla, to be on your couch, so hopefully more people can learn about who I am as a total person.
I need to know what Karla thought about me though, because if you're quiet and introverted, I'm like, what were your thoughts about me? I want to know. I'm just curious. You were just
no. There was nothing to wonder about because it was just consistent all the way across.
Oh, okay.
Talkative, like everybody can't do that. Like, you can pop up somewhere and just talk. I'm an introvert. So, when I see people like Christy, I think I try to identify and see, how they come out of their shell, things, or at that time in my life I was.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Karla, you are hitting the head on the nail with me. And let me just say this, because you are a counselor and a therapist, let me say this Mental Health Awareness Month.
It is.
That part of me coming out of my shell did come through therapy. It was me finding my voice, finding my way, because most people don't know, my radio career didn't kick off until my 30s.
Okay,
Even though I had gone to college for music and changed to radio, TV, and film as a major, my career would not kick off for over another decade. So it was life experiences, it was going to counseling, processing situations and my thought processes that gave me the power to tap into my voice and share who I am with the world. So I just want to say thanks for this opportunity again.
That's beautiful. And people don't think about doing those kinds of things in therapy. People think about therapy as domestic violence, trauma, but you can work on self-esteem in therapy, confidence, assertiveness, things that people don't necessarily think of. And those are the things that I love working on in therapy with clients.
Well, Karla, with Tina, I know that you wanted to say, I thought you was a pop-off queen. I know she over there from South Memphis.
That's what I was about to say. Maybe I need to go on the couch for South Memphis so I'll learn how to be more quiet. And not be like, move, get out the way.
No. And you know what? And we have to have all of those personalities to make everything work, because everybody can't be, the person who is talkative. Yeah. We got to have a mix.
But here's the funny thing. I wasn't always talkative. As a matter of fact, I went to college, graduated from Lambeth University, Jackson, Tennessee.
Okay.
1994. Oh, did I just tell my age? Yeah. But anyway, I did pledge a sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And my line name, Karla, is Timid T.
Really?
Because I didn't talk much.
Okay.
I did not talk much at all. But I knew I wanted to get into communications while I was in college, but I did not do a lot of talking. And they called me timid.
Okay, so now, did you do communications in college? Is that what you said?
I did. That is my major,
okay.
Mass Communications, Radio and Television Broadcasting.
Okay, so now, did your major help you come out more and talk more?
You know what?
Oh my goodness.
No, seriously, I don't know. I'm gonna have to say yes to that, but you may want to ask Christy another question. Let me ponder on where I got my confidence from. I cannot.
Karla, ask her what made her decide to become a VJ. That's how you're going to find out how she got inspired.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Now, wait a minute.
You don't want to answer that? How you decided to become a DJ?
Well, no, seriously. When I was my daughter's age, which is here, she's here with me today, so big shout outs to Olivia. Hey, baby. She's 9 years old. I can recall vividly one day my mom reading the Bible to us, and my mom is a praying lady. God bless her, bless her. And we had a good time in that prayer session. And in that prayer time, I heard the voice of the Lord tell me at 9 years old that you're going to be on TV and you're going to work for me.
Oh.
So I never said anything. I kept quiet because at that time in my life, I did have low self-confidence. I was not, the students or the children or the peers used to tease me about my big nose and my skinny body and things like that. So that's why I kind of kept quiet, if you will.
Okay, yeah.
But I took that and I held on to it for even during my adult years. And when I got into college, I said, I remember this saying within me, because I didn't know much about God or the Holy Spirit and stuff like that. I wasn't a church girl like Christy Taylor. I just learned to be one. Glory to God. But when I got to college, I was watching BET, and I saw these video hosts interview Snoop Dogg, and I said, that's what I want to be.
That's what you want to be?
Correct. And so when I got out, I did launch I did launch Video Waves. It came out in 1994.
Okay.
And as she stated, I was one of the first VJs out of 12. There were only 12 of us in the nation in 1994. So I was flying here and there, going to various places, interviewing stars. And the record labels at that time actually had money. And so they were flying us. They were paying for us. They were housing, transportation, yes, all of that. But like I'm still in awe because what was told to me by the Holy Spirit, now that I know that's what it was, at 9 years old, is actually manifesting. But I also understand, though, that had I taken the voice of the enemy to heart, then none of this would have come to pass.
Okay.
You know, he's the other voice.
Right.
And that's not the voice of truth at all.
Right.
God's word, God's voice is the voice of truth.
Yeah.
And I'm just so grateful to God that He allowed me to overcome that other voice that spoke something different than what He told me at 9 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, to be in this position today.
Well, that's a beautiful story. And we've spent some time here, and what we're going to do now is we're going to take a commercial break, pay some bills, and then we're going to come right back.
Center Stage Gospel Music live from Memphis, Tennessee, featuring gospel artists from around the world. Toe-tapping, hand-clapping, down-home gospel music. Watch on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and your local Comcast. Download the SVP TV app now on your smart television and mobile device. Center Stage Gospel season premieres Sunday, 8 p.m. Central.
Hey folks, it's Issa Haddad here. I got some good news and a special invitation for you to come see me here at Sunrise Collierville. Come on down, check out my inventory with new, pre-owned, and certified vehicles to choose from. I can get you finance when no one else can. Come on by, bring your family. I treat you like family. Come see me, Issa, here at the #1 dealership in the Mid-South, 4605 Houston Levy Road, Sunrise Collierville. Come on down, check out my inventory with hundreds of vehicles to choose from, pre-owned, new, and certified.
Good news from Sunrise Chevrolet. Get in your new vehicle today. Come on in, ask for Issa. Bankrupt, slow pay, bad credit, it's okay. Let Issa put you in your brand new truck or car today when you shop at Sunrise Chevrolet Collierville.
And don't forget, ask for me, Issa.
For over 20 years, OPOX has been keeping the Mid-South
Warm in the winter and cool in the summer.
OPOX is family owned and operated, so our family will take care of yours every step of the way. And right now, you can double up and save. Buy a new AC unit and get 50% off a new furnace to match it. Count on OPOX for fast and professional heating and cooling services. Count on OPOX.
Thank you all so much for joining Couch Convo with Coach Karla. We are back from break, and as you can see, we have our special guest Tina Tilton, and Christy Taylor is joining us by phone. And so before we went to break, we were talking about how Tina was able to come out of her shell and what led her to decide to become a DJ. And so now, Christy, what led you to decide to become a DJ? Because we know that you majored in music, I believe, at Oral Roberts.
Yes.
Okay.
Karla, and
Yes.
Shout out to you because I know you were a Fisk University singer, and there was always mad respect for Fisk because of the music department. But as I was, number one, D.C. born. For those who don't know, I was born in Washington, D.C., but my mom moved us back south. And we lived in the Tipton County, Millington area. So Woodstock for junior high and Millington Central High School. In between my junior high and high school years, also being in church choirs, I really was beginning to open up. And by the time I attended Oral Roberts University, straight out from Millington Central High School, I had been in concert choirs. I had been all-state, all-west, honor choirs. Honey, I was famous back then. The Millington had a newspaper, and me and two other students, we were featured. And I wish I need to find that clip. I might have it on social. But yeah, I went to college with the full intent of being I wanted to do Broadway. I wanted to do Broadway. So it was all about, singing and performing, doing choral music. You understand what I'm talking about, doing harmony classes, taking piano lessons. But I also was singing in a gospel group on campus at ORU.
Yeah.
Started by Carlton Pearson, the late, great Carlton Pearson, called Souls of Fire. And so I became a member of the choir as well as one of the Souls of Fire singers. And as I was touring in the country during the summer breaks, I started, I think just the evolution of who I was, and I was coming out of my shell. I was learning how to communicate better. And one time I went undeclared because I'm like, I don't want to be a music major anymore because it was more focused on choral music. And here I was in a group performing all the time, singing gospel music. So I went undeclared, and at some point the registrar was like, hey, you need to declare a major.
Yeah.
So I did my spiritual practice of praying to God, and the short story would be is what came in my 17, 18-year-old mind was, what could I do where I could talk and listen to music?
Okay.
Because I was falling in love with talking. And radio just leaped out, and I changed my major and ended up doing radio, TV, and film as a mass communication major. But I must confess, I did the Kanye.
What?
Wait a minute.
I did the Kanye, and I became a college dropout because I was also getting very involved in the music industry even back then. Shout out to all of those Souls of Fire singers and Oral Roberts TV singers that were friends. But then a lot of the gospel industry started coming to Tulsa. Remember, Azusa was about to happen, Azusa conferences. So a lot of what I would see black gospel royalty, and a lot of people from Detroit. The commission, the Winans, because Phoebe and Cece were at PTL, and Vanessa Bill Armstrong's youngest sister, Margaret Bell, she became a TV singer as we became friends in college. Many people may know Judith Christy McAllister. We used to tour together before she was still just Judy McAllister, and she married the drummer of our group in Souls of Fire. So that was like the circle I was in. David Smith, who became one of the orchestrators of Azusa's music, for those who know those series, and just so many people. And so I got so distracted because I was a music major and a music lover first that I basically ended up in Detroit hanging around musicians and singers. But it was in Detroit that I realized, this is not my path. And I ended up working as a secretary for an urban station in Detroit, and it was there realizing I was out of school, no degree, and I didn't want to be in the studios all the time. And here I am working as a secretary in radio, and it was like God positioned me to see, this is your life. And then that led me back to Memphis, and I found myself working my way up through different stations. And eventually, after one of the stations I worked for, they closed and got sold. It was a gospel station, for those who may remember K-Faith. 107.1, and it was sold to Dr. Flynn, which became Hot 107. But for 6 years, I was out of radio, and one of my colleagues, he told me about this new station, AM 990 The Light at Clear Channel. And that's how I got my start. And shout out to Evelyn and also Michael Davis and some other people that I had met throughout the years who were instrumental in getting me back into radio after 6 years. So that's how I didn't have a straight line, but once in my 30s that I got back into radio, I stuck with it, and thanks to Memphis, you all have shown me love, and that's my story, and I'm gonna stick to it.
And so now the radio scene is kind of different. If people are interested in being in radio, how do they do that?
Ooh, all right, Tina Tilton, I'm gonna toss it to you first.
You think? Okay. Well, how Flynn Broadcasting is working, bumping 96.3 FM and right on radio 87.7 FM, it is a very different and unique situation. This is one that really has not been done at all in Memphis, Tennessee. And when I say this, it's where podcasters now, anyone, amateur, professional, they have a voice, and they can, and the station allows their voices to be heard, whether it's a radio show or a talk show.
Right.
And their voices can be heard on either one of their radio stations, because their stations, bumping 96.3 FM and right on radio 87.7 FM, are both leased airtime stations. So you do have to pay for your airtime, but if you pay for your airtime, you will be able to slide into a slot for 1 hour every weekend for 1 month and play the music, like become that on-air personality that you always dreamt of being when in your younger years. Become that talk show host that you've always dreamt of becoming in your younger years. You can do it now. It'll cost a little, because it's not very expensive at all. It'll cost you a little, but at the same time, there are also sponsorship opportunities that the producers or podcasters can take advantage of. So nothing really has to come out of pocket. Get you some sponsors, get on the stations, get on either one of these stations and be heard. And yes, you did mention Sports 56. We don't manage or operate Sports 56. However, we do allow show development and production for podcasters should they need to utilize our services.
Yeah.
And I can say this, the list is growing. That's all I can say right now.
Okay.
It's growing.
Okay. Christy, did you want to add anything to that?
I do want to add to that, Coach Karla. Remember we said 2019 we had all these plans, and one of the plans was I wanted to teach classes about being on radio or being like an industry pro, you know. And when the pandemic shut those dreams down and delayed it, I won't say shut it down, it delayed it while we were pivoting and learning how to be more virtual. But in 2022, an opportunity came because of Tina's long relationship with Flynn Broadcasting, having been on air, having managed one of their TV stations. When the opportunity came for her to partner with them, the podcast center with Flynn Broadcasting, she hit me up and said, "Do you still want to teach classes?" And I was like, "Definitely." So then that's why you and I had an opportunity on one of those Saturday classes to right there in Bartlett. And you know, I'm very passionate, as Karla could tell you all about that. And I put together a original programming, basically a course to teach people show development so that you can have FCC compliant shows. We've evolved from those initial, and now we have it as the Beyond the Pod orientation, where I literally walk people through how to come up with their show ideas, how to determine if it's going to be, you know, for just radio or TV or multi-platforms, and even showing you the radio clock on how to really maximize a 1 hour show. I love what I do, and I'm excited. We have new opportunities to even now make it where I will provide you with one-to-one coaching.
Okay.
So not just the in-person classes. We can provide you the virtual orientation, and then you can meet with me one-on-one virtually, just like my business, Christy Taylor Consultant. I love virtual and personalized training courses. So we've kind of taken it up a notch. So for those who want to show on next month, if you want to be on the radio in June, you need to contact the Podcast Center.
901-468-3097.
And then also they can go to the website, because the website is the Podcast Center
Memphis.com.
Oh, okay. The Podcast Center Memphis.com. Okay. And then Christy, as you were mentioning classes, not only do you do I'm gonna say the Podcast Center classes, but you also offer other classes outside of that.
Yes, thank you, Karla. been, as they say, joined at the hip for 5 years.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of synergistic work together because we are in the same space and support the space. Even in our cohorts we did last year, they were like, you all have 2 different businesses. How did you all come together? But yes, we have 2 separate businesses. The Podcast Center is Tina's and Christy Taylor Consulting is mine. And I do teach classes and courses and private sessions, everything from strategy planning or strategic planning, also creative advisement. If you have a radio or TV or even a film project, I can assist with that. But what if you say that you want to get into public speaking or you want to better perform when it comes to virtual presentations at work? I provide communication coaching, and yes, if you want to be on Coach Karla's show and you want to sound amazing, I even assist you with media prep. And then I can customize training. That maybe you have a nonprofit or a church organization and you want your leadership to be taught about how to more effectively communicate within your organization or to the public. I create custom classes just like I did for my client, the Podcast Center.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for telling everybody about that. So now they know if they need that extra help with public speaking, they know who to tap for that. All right. Now, Christy, you are joining us by phone because you said an undisclosed location. Can you? Can you?
You can tell them where I am.
Okay. She is in Atlanta. Now, tell us why you're in Atlanta, if you can.
You know something? I will give you this. And me and Tina, we tag team, and we are we're dreaming big.
Yeah.
As she said, when we had our television shows that were on, we were in all the 14 markets because of her relationship as a registered licensed distributor of content in up to 14 markets in all these states, which includes Atlanta. We wanted to start both my business, Christy Taylor Consulting, as well as the Podcast Center with the radio stations to start expanding our borders, enlarging our territory. And then I must say, Karla, I am still a creative.
Okay.
And I still write movies, and I still write TV shows. I have clients that I work with. So instead of going to LA and being too far away from Tina in the Podcast Center and all the business that we're doing in Memphis, I figured Atlanta was right down the street, and I can now reinsert myself back into the TV film world. And I have some unproduced scripts that we need to get to the screen. So just a lot of opportunities that we're looking to expand. And also, I did go on a sabbatical. Let's start with that. I did go on a sabbatical, but while I've been here, I'm like, God, I think that you have pretty much low-key, like, opening up opportunities for me to explore ways that we can expand our businesses and our reach in the region.
Yeah. So that sounds really exciting. And I did know that Christy works on screenplays, as well as writing for TV shows. One of the things that we talked about, a question that we said we were going to answer for Memphis and all of the people who are tuning in, is Memphis the new Hollywood?
Wow.
That is so. The new Hollywood is the Delta. I know for certain that we are positioning ourselves. And for those, like I said, I brought up Jason Farmer earlier. And for those who may know BLP Studios or Black Lens Productions, his son, when I came back from LA, and he was expressing interest in being in the film industry. I think he was still at in junior high or high school. And I assisted Jason with just carving out some niches, and I've also been supportive of those who have been working in the space who are starting to really make a lot of noise. And we are definitely making Memphis a hotbed for production. Of course, Memphis has a long history of being a creative hotbed. Number one, there's not an industry, there's not a art and culture, and shout out to Mayor Paul Young, who is officially finally putting art and culture in the center of the city's agenda. But for a good 100 years, Memphis has been a creative hotbed. And we are now positioning ourselves better for the film industry, even though we've had many movies, including one that I was a part of in 2008, Insecure, that Julius Lewis had produced, and I was a co-writer on that. You know, and there have been plenty of the movies we know, of course, Hustle and Flow, Craig Brewer. I mean, plenty of movies, but to make an industry, now that you have the the city support, now that you understand business, now that we are getting into more training, and more people are picking up that camera and telling stories. Our film festivals are stronger. Shout out to Camille Fryer of Indie Memphis. Shout out to Attorney Angela Green over there on location Memphis. We have in other film festivals. All of these things are important. We need the writers, we need the cast and the crew, we need the actors, we need everybody to be trained properly. And now that we're getting into that, we are definitely becoming a player in the game on the next level. And of course, Atlanta is touting themselves to be Black Hollywood, but I think Memphis definitely being the blackest city in the country, we can really take that moniker if we put out. If we do right. If we do right, we can.
You did not say the blackest city in the country. You did not call us the blackest city in the country.
We are considered now. They said Detroit has lost their population,
What?
and officially Memphis now has the highest percentage of the black population in the United States of America, which is
Now
also
that sounds better.
something that I want to salute. Mary Young and I think and Mary Lee Harris, that we need to really sell that we are the black Mecca in the country, even though Memphis has not always been praised for its black population like Atlanta or Detroit, but we actually are. So now we just have to elevate when it comes to how we
Brand
bring
our
black
city.
businesses up, our black productions up, so that we can finally get the credit for our contribution to the country. There is not a time in human history in America that you could not go through Memphis and it has not been impactful. Even back, of course, I love history, and Tina loves history. Even back in the Harlem Renaissance, you had to go out of the Delta, come through Memphis, and if you made it to Memphis, make it to St. Louis and Chicago, then Detroit, then to Harlem. Memphis has always been pivotal, and we need to reclaim that in the 21st century, that you got to come through Memphis if you want to make it.
Yeah.
You know what's something, Christy, that you told me last night, and I'd like for you to share with the viewers about what your mom said to you about you and Hollywood. I'm serious.
Okay.
Because that was a good question, Karla.
Yeah, that we had that conversation. Had just, as I told you, Karla, I didn't do a straight line, but after I left Hallelujah FM in 2008, I went back to Oral Roberts University in my 40s and completed that degree in drama, TV, and film production. And then I ended up in Los Angeles as I was working on a master's in professional screenwriting after the movie had come out. So I was like, if I'm really going to do this film thing, I want to learn it inside and out. But at some point, my mom had hit her 80s, and she wanted me back across the Mississippi River. So I found myself back in Memphis, but I was pleading in 2014, 10 years ago. I'm like, Mom, at least let me go to Nashville or Atlanta, because they have the industry to support what I had just been educated in. And she was like, no, you just bring Hollywood to Memphis.
Yeah.
So I have
And here we are.
10 years
And
in
that's
my
something.
own small way trying to support anyone who has even shown any interest in the film industry. And I've always been a champion of those, whether it's the writers, whether it's the producers, whether it's the cast and the crew. And there are key people right now, and I'm not dropping names because, as a consultant, this is the work I do. I have encouraged a lot of people who are on the scene making noise, because I've been the Hollywood whisperer, because my mama said, bring Hollywood to Memphis. So
Awesome.
we'll see how this may pan out for all the things. And now me and Tina, we're trying to bring Memphis to the region. So there we have it.
Yeah. And I think if we really want it, we can have it. That's what I think. And
we can.
Yeah.
We can. Memphis can position itself, but it does require lobbying for tax incentives. You have to make sure that if the state and the county and the city put in the financial incentive to bring projects to the city, but not just bring projects to the city, which has been the history of Memphis and the film industry, but also fostering the talent that is in Memphis and giving the financial support that they give the other industries in Memphis. Now, we know we got a lot of entrepreneurs. Memphis is also noted for whether black and women, so many of us have been in business. But when it comes to investment, we have to invest in art and culture, and specifically we need to invest in the music industry, and we have to invest in the film industry, giving incentives, giving those grants, giving the tools the financial incentives to build an industry from its heyday into the 21st century.
Yeah, to create,
Yeah.
basically.
And we definitely have the talent here in terms of actors, writers, producers, singers. All of that's here. I think that it's just a matter of us working together and organizing. And basically that's what you were saying. But I think you were talking about more of the business end, and I'm talking about.
Go ahead. To your point, I have been blessed. When I came back from Detroit, and I have bounced around in my 20s, coming back from Detroit before I got back into radio, my first stop was the Memphis Black Arts Alliance, because as a singer, as a poet, as a creative who made a career in media, I always would search out the art culture, the art center. So I was at Precious Cargo when it first got started. I was at This Is That Jazz Club on Bill Street. Anywhere there's the arts, shout out to Michelle Montgomery, all the poets and all the artists and all the visual artists. When Ephraim Urebu, who started Art Village down in South Maine, and when that popped off, I was always trying to be where art was. But no matter how talented we are and how much creativity, unless you create the business aspect, you have what we call the talent drain. Because as an artist, for you to live off your talent, you have to go where the industry is so that you can make money, so that you can make a living. And that is what we are seeking to change. The talent is there. We are like diamonds in a mine. But until somebody really lifts us out of the mine, polishes us up, and put us in Tiffany, we're just rocks in a cave. So the thing is that we need the same type of incentives that they do for FedEx, for companies that come all over the country. We need the same type of tax incentives that, in order to build the industry for us to make a living, and that will also start, in my opinion, will also solve some of the crime, because we are a city of talented, frustrated people who then resort to bad behavior because you're not able to make the living from your true gift. I mean, that's me preaching now at this point, but...
I was about to say, or politicking. I was about to say, vote for Christy Taylor.
But because she mentioned Memphis Black Arts Alliance, I'm involved with Memphis Black Arts Alliance as well, and in fact, we just sang at an event this past weekend. I can't remember the name of it.
You do sing, Karla, don't you? Yeah. Christy Taylor.
Fabulously.
Yes.
University singer, come on.
I know I'm all off the subject, but you did sing for Tony Terry recently. She was the winner, you guys, at the Tony Terry birthday bash, and she had an opportunity to sing to Tony Terry and have dinner with him at the table, and everything was free. Oh my gosh.
I'm still blushing about that.
You are a great singer. You're still blushing?
You. Yes, I'm still blushing about singing to Tony Terry.
Yes.
Oh my God.
You had to sing Happy Birthday. It was a happy birthday song, but still, I couldn't do it. I am so glad. It was good to see you on that stage, because for me, I know you as a therapist, as a talk show host, but not a singer. I did not know that part of you.
And so, that makes me think about, for people to, as we work on projects together, don't assume about people's talents. Like, this person is a therapist, this person is an accountant. They may have other hidden talents. They may be able to sing. They may be able to write. And then also, most creatives have several talents. That's just the way God did it for some reason. We're going to have a show about that too. But ladies, I have enjoyed having you. This has been a wonderful discussion. I think we answered the question, is Memphis the new Hollywood? I think we answered that and gave some good information. Is there anything else that you ladies want to share with the audience before we leave on tonight?
I just...
Let me talk to Tina and say, I know that the Podcast Center this summer, that we are looking for talented young people who want to begin their career in radio and television, and audio video production. Give us some info on that, Tina.
Yeah, I was about to say, she said it. So all you have to do now is contact the Podcast Center. You can do it via email at thepodcastcenter@gmail.com, or you can call 901-468 3097. 14 to 24-year-olds, we're looking for you to come work for the Podcast Center. And we got you. We got you.
Okay.
We got you.
All right, you all.
That's
thank
money.
You. Thank you so much for coming to.
Karla,
Yes.
Wait.
Go-
Oh my God, I have a free gift. For your
free
audience.
gift?
Okay.
They can go to my website, ChristyTaylorConsulting.com. That's ChristyTaylorConsulting.com. The download their free ebook, I Speak with Confidence and Poise, a personal gift from me to your audience.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody, congratulations on your
got it.
special.